Hello everyone, this is Pamper Chew. Today at this sort of flea market place I found this vintage core memory display. I got it for $2. I'm not sure that the guy even knew what it was or the significance of it. These are core memory bits or little iron donuts that were used mostly in the 50s to 70s for memory on computers. They were sewn by hand, and they would be in like little grids. I'll show a picture here, and this little display here kind of shows the sizes over the years. This would have been used in the mid 50s, 60s, all the way up and possibly to the early 80s on this really small one here. If I can, it's just almost a dot. And here you can even see the measurements: 7 diameter, 7 on the inside, 12 on the outside. And I've heard stories about the women who sewn these together, because it would all be done by hand. Every time they went to a new generation, they would fire all the women and have to hire new ones because they would be used to sewing one size, and it would be difficult to learn the new one. I'm sure there's some women who continued, but that was a story I was told by one of my college professors. But let's take a look here. Starting from the 50s, it's a T19, T24, T18, T17. This one here has a few different model numbers, I guess. All the way down to the X55. And I'm going to stand it up here and show you the edge of how thick they were, starting from the 50s, 1960s, and 1970s, possibly 1980s. I can't find much information about these specifically online. Each model number has been lost over the years of information. The only information I could find was that a similar sized donut was used in a 1950s computer. Let's see, where did I find that? Columbia University. This here, this is what it would have looked like when it was sewn together, little iron donuts. And first core memory, which was about the same size. Where did it say here? The cores were 150 mils inside. Oh, not microns, mils. 240 outside. What do we got there? That's 120 and 240. So it's similar. Probably not the first one, but maybe the first standard generation to standardized. I love core memory. It's one of the coolest things I've ever seen when I was a kid. Let's see if I can find a I've actually seen this in person, this core memory module. It's all tube, and this is the core memory block inside. I think that whole thing holds 128 words, something like that. There's a neat one. 400k bits for $8. Sew by hand. There's another big module. And this is all the pins, the cores are sewn by hand. Very cool. So here's a 8 gig memory card sitting on top. Now the same thing is happening today, but with transistor size. We can't physically see it. Under a microscope we could, and we can see maybe back in the 70s our transistors were like this size in relation to the others. Of course it's going to go down a lot quicker because we can do things a lot quicker now with all the technology we have, and shrinking. Usually it halves every 18 months, but we're going to hit a brick wall here pretty soon with the size of an atom. I think we're getting down to, what, 10 nanometers in lab, and in actual practice, what is it, like 16? I can't even remember. It's going so quick now, but that's core memory. If anybody knows more about this, please post down in the comments below. This is the only core memory I have, but for $2 I would have paid 20 to have that. I thought I'd throw in a really quick on how it works. Each little iron donut can be recorded counterclockwise or clockwise with a magnetic field, meaning a 1 or a 0. And if you want to go onto Wikipedia and read all this, it's really cool. Here's a little picture of core memory. What is that, 1K byte of data. There's that big one I showed you earlier. And here's actual little iron donuts just suspended in wires that were sewn by hand. Here's shows you how it all is wired up and how it works. So go onto Wikipedia, read it yourself. It's really cool. Zoomed in. That's a little zoomed in picture of it. So some of the stuff, this is how we stored information in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And it's still used in some very specific applications, I'm sure. I think that they even used this on the Apollo missions. I'm not sure of that though. It might be a little behind for that. But I kind of remember Voyager using something on the lines of core memory. So, but don't take my word for that. I could be completely wrong. But check it out, magnetic core memory.